It's a big day for politics in South Carolina as the Vice President of the United States made a visit here to town. Kamala Harris was here early this morning to file paperwork for President Joe Biden to be on next year's Democratic primary.
News 19's Walker Lawson was there and has the story.
We are fighting for fundamental freedoms, including the freedom of people to have access to the ballot and be able to vote.
Vice President Kamala Harris spoke to supporters at the South Carolina Democratic headquarters alongside South Carolina Representative James Clyburn as the administration filed the paperwork to put Joe Biden on the ballot. Clyburn says South Carolina is influential in the race for the White House, which is why he had to be here.
If people learn how to connect with those four distinct cultures that exists here in South Carolina. If you're in the PD, it's agriculture. If you're in the Piedmont, it's manufacturing. If you're in the low country, it's military. And in the Midlands, it's basically education. If you learn how to traverse those things, you will do well. We're going to prove it again this year.
Political science professor Robert Oldendick at the University of South Carolina says Clyburn had an influential role in the 2020 election, but this year it might not hold as much weight.
It was more important in 2020 just because Biden had not really done all that well in Iowa and New Hampshire. He had come out and he was a little weakened, but he came to South Carolina. Clyburn and his organization really got behind him. It's still important, but just given the different conditions this time, it doesn't carry as much weight. But certainly it's something that Biden needs as his campaign going forward.
As for why Biden wasn't here, Oldendick says there are several reasons.
One, given everything that's going on in the world in terms of Israel and Ukraine and the battle over the budget, potential government shutdown, that while certainly Biden is running for re-election, there's a lot of things that he needs to take care of in his role as chief executive at this point. Harris being kind of a surrogate and also being on the ballot, given the extreme importance of the African-American population in the Democratic primary, Harris is a perfect alternative.
Walker Lawson, News 19, WLTX.
Well, the Democratic primary is on February 3rd, and earlier this year, Democrats changed the primary calendar to make our state the first in the nation for Democrats. South Carolina Republican Chairman Drew McKissick released a statement on the vice president's visit. It reads, "It's clear that Biden is an even bigger disappointment for South Carolinians and the Democrat Party than anyone ever expected." He goes on to say he guessed that explains why he's not coming here to file in person. He goes on to say, thankfully, just 106 days away from the GOP's presidential primary, where they believe they have the best track record in the nation for picking presidents, and that he looks forward to doing it again next year and sending Joe Biden into retirement.
Another Democratic candidate has filed for the South Carolina presidential primary. The South Carolina Democratic Party says Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips actually filed the proper paperwork on Wednesday. Now, he did not choose to file in person. The Democratic Party also says Turkish-American political commentator Senguk Uygur has also filed. He filed on Wednesday, so that, if you are counting, brings our total to 4 candidates, including, of course, incumbent President Joe Biden and Marianne Williamson. The party is going to meet on Monday to certify which candidates will, in fact, be in the primaries.